Welcome back to Wrasslin City, and today's the day.
It's finally time for WrestleMania.
It sure is. Night one tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on Peacock. So, I guess it's time to make some WrestleMania predictions, man.
We have been looking forward to this. We are finally able to meet in person. We usually meet for the big events. The last one we were together for was SummerSlam last year. We were together for WrestleMania last year, but, I wasn't able to go down there for this year, but we were able to still make it happen, and we are ready for this one. This is the most excited I have been for a WrestleMania in several years, maybe not if of all time. I really think this has potential to be one of the greatest WrestleManias.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You look at the card, and just on paper, it just, man, props to them for giving us one of the best cards that we've seen for WrestleMania, to be honest.
Yeah. I think there's some, and also just before we start, so we will be going through all the predictions for night 1 and 2, all those matches, but we're going to be deviating from our usual stuff for our podcast because usually we do the Raw and SmackDown reviews. We'll kind of be putting that to the side, and we may incorporate some of what happened from Raw and SmackDown when talking about these predictions. But most of this will just be talking about what we think is going to happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So before we get into it, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and like this video and comment down below what your WrestleMania predictions are for night 1 and night 2. So I'm ready to get into it if you are.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, so I guess we can start with night 1, and we'll start with Rey Mysterio and Andrade. It was Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee at first, but SmackDown last night, Andrade actually took Dragon Lee's spot, so it'll be Rey and Andrade versus Santos and Dom. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I've got Santos and Dom winning this one.
Yeah, my prediction would be Santos and Dominic, too. I think that last year I was surprised that Rey Mysterio got that win.
Yeah, I was too.
And I think that this is the time for, especially, not just, Dominic was a little bit of a weird throw-in, but Rey and Santos I thought was going to be the WrestleMania match. So now that it's a tag team match, I still think, though, that the faces, or the heels, are going to finally be able to get that. I think they need the win more. Andrade, he's new right now, or returned, but I think will be fine with a loss right now. And Santos is the one that really needs a win right now.
Yeah, Santos and Dom, too, if you think about it.
Yes, his character, he can take a lot of losses, but I think it would definitely benefit him.
Yeah, it would benefit him and Santos a lot more than I think Rey and Andrade. So, yeah I got Santos and Dom in that one. So next up, we've got another tag team match. It's Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi taking on Damage Control, and I've got Jade and Bianca and Naomi.
Yeah, this
winning.
one I think is the most obvious one on the entire show. I think obviously Jade, Naomi, and Bianca are gonna win. Yeah. I think it'll be a little bit different once you get to the actual. We'll talk about that later. But Bayley and Io Sky. But this match, there's not really any more stakes behind it. Really, the only thing that, at least me when looking at it, from a experienced wrestling fan perspective, is that Jade, she just returned, so I don't think she's going to be just losing. It just doesn't make sense. So I think, very clearly, Jade, Naomi, and Bianca are going to pick up the win.
Yeah, and you got to kind of feel for Asuka, too, because another WrestleMania.
She does not have good luck at WrestleMania. No, we thought last year she was going to win. Who'd she?
Bianca Belair. She fought last year. Bianca Belair.
She just can't get a win.
No, she hasn't won yet, and her losing streak's going to continue this year.
Yeah, so. I agree.
So you got both are going on.
Both of them. Yep.
So next up is Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso. I'll let you go with this one first.
So I feel pretty strongly about this one. I was thinking at first, I was a little torn with who I think is going to win. But now I am almost 100% sure that Jimmy Uso is going to be picking up this win. I think that because I think that with how this rivalry has built up, I think that there is a lot more. They've just scratched the surface. They haven't done any personal attack. Like, they just did what Jimmy cost him the IC title, and they're building it as brother versus brother. But I see this going a few more pay-per-views, and it culminating in a last man standing or Hell in a Cell or something. And if they made Jay win, it would just, there wouldn't really be much of a reason for it to continue. I mean, I guess it could, but yeah, my prediction is Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, I'm super torn on this, and you know, I thought they were going to add a stipulation to this match. I made a video about it a couple weeks ago, but it's just a regular singles one-on-one match, and dude, I'm torn, but I'm probably gonna have to go with you. I think Jimmy would benefit a lot more than Jay would in this situation. I mean, Jimmy, ever since they split up, his single run just hasn't been that great, in my opinion. And so I think a win in this match could really kickstart that. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Jay can take this loss, and then I think at the end, I'm pretty sure is when Jay is going to win that rivalry, because they obviously have more for him than Jimmy, is at least my prediction.
Yeah.
So, but I predict that this one, it's going to be just like WrestleMania 25 when Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy faced.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Hardy gets the initial upset win. And also another thing, when you talk about the main event of this night and the main event of tomorrow, we have more of it's leaning more towards the baby faces getting that ultimate win. So I think that this is a nice balance. We don't need all the feel good baby face, everybody gets sent home happy type of moment. I think there could be a moment where there's some controversial type finish, and I think this would be the one for it.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure Solo Sikoa is going to get involved or something like that.
Yeah, and it makes him look stronger. It makes the bloodline look more solid as more of a threat heading into the tag match and night 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Jimmy's going to win.
Yeah, I do too. Next up is a match that I personally think could honestly steal the entire show, and it's a 6-pack ladder match for the tag team titles. You got Judgment Day defending their titles against DIY, Awesome Truth, New Day, New Catch Republic, and A-Town Down Under. So, and I'll let you start with this one too.
So I think it's a pretty clear, the Raw tag titles, I'm pretty sure are going to go to Awesome Truth. But I think, so obviously what everybody was speculating online, that they think the commentators were basically emphasizing the point that both titles have to be grabbed to win it, I guess.
Yeah, Michael Cole said that on my
Yeah, so this really indicates that these titles could be split back to the Raw and SmackDown tag titles. So I am making my predictions with the assumption that something like that happens. So I predict that Awesome Truth is going to win the Raw tag titles. And SmackDown, I was torn between a few of them. I could honestly see a bunch of them winning. But I think there's going to be an upset with it. And since you have a face with the Raw tag titles, I think one of the heel, one of the lesser liked ones are going to win the SmackDown tag titles. And my prediction is going to be A-Town Down Under.
Okay, that's not bad at all. I'm with you on Awesome Truth, but I think New Catch Republic are going to win the SmackDown tag team titles.
That was like the only one I was rolling out. I was like, I don't think they're going to win. But
I do. I really think that. Because I think what's going to happen, R-Truth is going to climb the ladder. He's going to do his stupid, whatever. He's going to grab just the Raw tag team titles. He's going to celebrate like, oh, we won. And then I think New Catch Republic, I think one of them is going to climb the ladder. But I mean, honestly, I could see where like Austin Theory does that instead of New Catch Republic. But I'm going to go with New Catch Republic.
The thing about this match is almost all okay. So I can pretty safely say that I do not think DIY is going to win either. But
I don't know, man. I was kind of leaning towards them for
every tag team has at least a point like where I could see them winning. Maybe New Day, we were talking about this last night. I'm not 100% sure, but New Day has always been the safe bet. Like they'll just put the titles on them to, I guess, just what's it called, like stat pad to add to their another reign to their tenure, their career. But any tag team here I could understand or see winning, but for sure Awesome Truth. And then my just bold prediction, I guess, would be A-Town Down Under.
Imagine if like the Judgment Day didn't win, and then Damian Priest decides to finally cash in his Money in the Bank on the tag team titles.
I hope not. I hope not. Which we will talk about a little bit later. But no, I hope he does not do that.
Yeah, I hope not either. I hope he doesn't cash in at all, really, over this night. But next up, we have Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, and I got Rhea in this.
Yeah, clearly Rhea. They haven't really. This feud has been. I'm not really looking forward to this match, honestly. It could be a good match, but
I think it will. And for me, it's like Rhea. She's been champion for 300 and now 65 days or whatever. And we haven't seen a lot of women that have long title reigns. Because when you think about it, I mean, Charlotte Flair has been in the WWE since 2016? She's already a 15-time
on the main
champion.
roster.
So I think they should build Rhea Ripley up kind of like how they have with Gunther. I think that's what they should do. And I got Rhea Ripley retaining. And honestly, I would like to see her hold the title until next year's WrestleMania.
Till next year's, I could see that. Honestly, it's one of those ones we've entered into. We're in the time period of long title reigns, and I just do not see it ending off of this. I think Becky's just going to be another challenger to make her reign look more impressive.
Becky doesn't really need this win right now.
She really doesn't, no. And she hasn't been doing. I mean, she had that win against Nia Jax, but she hasn't. She hasn't done much besides in the past few months. So I feel like, I think it's pretty obvious that Rhea's going to retain.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Rhea Ripley does, because I know she's been wearing some brace on her wrist. Apparently, she injured her wrist a couple weeks ago. She's been wearing a brace in all her
I haven't
interviews.
Even seen that.
Yeah, she talked about it in the MMA hour with Ari, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. Ari Huani or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see how she does in this match. So, Rhea Ripley for the win. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship match, Gunther versus Sami Zayn.
Yep,
Gunther for the win. I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
I think that obviously when it comes to, so it's a little hard because I think that a lot of years I say that Sami Zayn isn't going to win, and then he ends up getting some sort of win. I think it's definitely possible, but my prediction mind, who I actually think is going to win, looking at it objectively, I do think Gunther's going to end up winning this match. And I think specifically it's going to end because Chad Gable turns heel and costs Sami the match. Now, I guess we'll know by the end of the night. Maybe this is just a out there fan prediction, I've seen this a lot on Twitter, a lot of people saying this, but I mean, it does make a lot of sense. A lot of people were like, oh, it doesn't make sense because Gunther has attacked Gable, so it doesn't, why would he attack him or whatnot if it's this huge plan? But wrestling doesn't always make sense,
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. Sometimes they beat each other up and then they're like, oh, turns out we're friends or whatnot. I don't think that's necessarily a solid way to completely throw out that possibility. So I think that Chad Gable, is going to turn heel and cost Sami Zayn this match, and then we can build to either a triple threat for them down the line for the IC
maybe a
title,
backlash or something,
or just a singles one-on-one between Sami and Gable. That would be a fantastic match if it happens, though.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in that gauntlet match, but I think I like to see it go a little bit longer.
Yeah, and with some added layer to it. Yeah, Gable being heel, so they won't have that respect thing. They hate each other. They'll be trying to get at each other's throats during that match.
Yeah.
And they could even add a stipulation. I think that one thing that people have been doing with these, with Gable going into this, is everybody's booking as if WrestleMania is the final thing. They need to continue finding new ways to make the next pay-per-views, Backlash or Extreme Rules, whatever the next one is. They need to add some intriguing matches to that. And I think with this heel turn, with what they've been doing with Sami and Gable, they have been planting those seeds for them to have a great individual rivalry after WrestleMania. And then Gable can get his title shot, maybe win the IC title, and you have a match in Sami and Gable. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll have to admit, like that little video promo that they did for like the training video on Monday Night Raw.
Like Rocky.
Yeah, I thought it was really like, it was funny and it was entertaining, but it kind of doesn't make sense. And you said this, I think, on our last podcast where, you know, Chad Gable is now Sami Zayn's like trainer to beat Gunther when he hasn't beaten Gunther himself.
He hasn't beaten him, so he doesn't have the key. I mean, I guess he's learned his tactics through when he faced him, but he doesn't have the key. So he's just giving information about stuff he can't really help much with.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like he can use that to turn on Sami Zayn. I feel like Gunther will just beat down Sami, and then Gable will like run down there to the ring and like, come on, Sami, come on, and then he'll probably get some big move, and then I have a feeling that he'll probably like pull like,
the ref.
Pull the ref out or whatever. So yeah, I've got Gunther retaining. I don't see his title reign ending just yet. So,
and another arguable match of the night. We'll see how it goes. But Sami and Gunther, they both respectively put on great matches. So I'm looking forward to that one. That has potential to be a fantastic match.
Yeah. All right, that leaves us with one match for night one. It's the main event of night one, arguably the biggest tag team match of all time. You got The Rock and Roman Reigns taking on Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Now, obviously, there's some stipulation to this match. If Rock and Roman win, then the night two main event will be Bloodline rules. Anything goes. But if Cody and Seth win, then it's just one-on-one for night two. No bloodline, no nothing. Just a straight-up one-on-one match. And I've got Rock and Roman winning this.
Well, first of all, I can't believe this is tonight. I mean, it's really crazy.
I can't
It's
either.
felt like the future, like in the distant, a few weeks from now, a few months from now, and now it's happening. So my prediction is the exact same, Rock and Roman Reigns. Now, I was kind of disappointed when they announced this stipulation thing. I think they should have just made it a Bloodline Rules match for night two, because if you've been a fan of wrestling for any amount of time and actually know how they tend to work with their booking, they're not going to make it just a singles one-on-one match. If they've announced that it's going to be a Bloodline Rules match, then it's going to be that match. So them adding, if we win, it's going to be a Bloodline Rules, then it basically just gave away Rock and Roman Reigns are going to win this match. I try not to look at it like that because it makes wrestling a little less fun, but it's just something, it just doesn't make sense. You really think that Cody and Seth are going to win, and then the next night they're just going to be like, oh, okay, it's a one-on-one. Bloodline Rules, we're just going to scrap that. Maybe I've seen people posting a theory that Cody and Seth could win, and then Rock's like, oh, well, I still have power, I'm in control, so we're going to make this a Bloodline Rules anyway. But I don't see that happening. I see that as I just see flat out, and with Rock, he doesn't wrestle, so his last match was technically in 2016 against Eric Rowan, but his last actual match was in 2013 against John Cena. So I don't see him having his last match, or his most recent match, as a loss. I see him picking up the win, and my specific prediction is I think Rock is going to pin Cody Rhodes.
I actually have Roman Reigns pinning Seth Rollins.
Wow, flipped exactly.
Yeah, I think Seth. Well, I could see Cody taking the loss here tonight, and then that just adds more.
They're gonna stack the decks against him because Rollins, I feel like. I could understand people saying he could eat the pin, take the loss, but Rollins, it doesn't add to his story because he doesn't have those, like, he's been the champion, I think he needs to look strong going into it, or at least not take the pinfall. While Cody, him taking that loss is more like, oh, they're throwing the shovel on him, they're stacking the decks even more against him.
Damn, dude, I might have to change my pick on that one now.
Rock, he gets the win, and it's like, I think that they're not going to do Roman pinning Rhodes because they're going to save that more of that interaction between them for night 2. But my prediction would be like Bloodline interferes, Solo comes in, Cody's fighting off all of them, and then Rock hits him with the rock bottom and gets that win. And then the deck is stacked more against him going into night 2. That's my prediction.
Okay, yeah, I could see that, but I think I'll stick with Roman. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go, that makes more sense. I got Rock pinning Cody.
I mean, it makes sense, yeah. It could go either way, but yeah, for sure, 100%, I think Rock and Roman are going to win this match.
All right, that does it for night 1. Now it's time to get into night 2, and we'll start off with, you got the Pride taking on the Final Testament in a street fight, and I've actually got the Final Testament winning this one. I think Karrion Kross and AOP would really benefit from this way more than Bobby Lashley and Street Profits, so I got Final Testament taking this one.
Okay, so I think that the Pride is going to win this match. And I think it's because what we've seen in the past weeks, it has just been AOP, or Final Testament, I guess, AOP and Karrion Kross, just constantly attacking and getting the upper hand on the Street Profits and Lashley. So I guess they could do it. I mean, this rivalry has been pretty underwhelming to me.
Yeah, it really has.
I have personally, controversial opinion, I have always found Karrion Kross a little boring. I don't really find him that entertaining. Maybe it's...
If they could bring his NXT character to the main roster, I think it would really work, because I loved his work in NXT.
Yeah, a big portion of it's probably just his booking on the main roster hasn't been very good.
It started off with Vince McMahon.
But I think that with them getting all these attacks, all the upper hand, I think that now the Pride is going to get their heat back, get their win at WrestleMania. So, yeah, my prediction would be Pride. But I could see this going either way. I think that's maybe a bold prediction.
Yeah, I could too. But, yeah, Final Testament is my final prediction on that one. So.
Okay, and it should be a good match. It's a street fight. At least it's not, I'm glad they added some sort of stipulation to it.
Yeah, I am too. Next up, we can do LA Knight versus AJ Styles. And I've got LA Knight taking this one.
Yes, I see this. I could see this going either way, but my prediction, is going to be LA Knight. I think that, first of all, people were complaining all over the internet, like, oh, why hasn't he had a better match, whatever. He didn't have a match.
I mean, this match is just fine for them.
And yeah, AJ Styles is, now he's not the longest reigning WWE champion of the modern era, but he was, he was champion of the entirety of 2016, right? Or 2017. And I think that's what it was. He was champion for a long time. Yeah. It was over a year. And I think that it is a good opponent for LA Knight. And it's a good way. I'm glad both of them got to get showcased.
Yeah,
one thing people need to realize on the internet is that not everybody is going to be getting a main title match featured on the main event. Then those title matches wouldn't be valuable. I mean, what, you want to see a fatal 4-way for every single title match or something?
Yeah, make it like WrestleMania 2000 all over again.
Yeah, make it a bunch of people in every single match for the titles. So they need to have these individual showcase non-title match just to have a rivalry. And I think that it makes sense to have this match. And the build-up has been pretty damn cool.
Has been fantastic. You had LA Knight, going to AJ Styles' house, got arrested, and they actually had a little interaction at some fan event the other day. Did you see that?
Yep,
AJ Styles got his nose busted open.
They're on site. Yeah. They're basically, they're adding that unique rivalry, shades of Orton and Triple H at WrestleMania 25, that build-up. Hopefully the match doesn't end up like that WrestleMania 25 match, though. Hopefully this is going to be a good match.
I think it can be.
I don't think LA Knight, when I think of him, I don't really think of like fantastic, like 5-star matches. He still has the potential to put on a good match. So I think this will be a solid match, maybe not match of the night, but I do see LA Knight picking up this win.
Yeah, I do too. Next up, we can do Io Sky versus Bayley for the Women's Championship. And I got Bayley in this one. She deserves this moment so much. I mean, you've had Sasha, you've had Charlotte, you've had Becky, and now finally Bayley's getting her opportunity, and I think she's going to win the Women's Championship tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I agree. I think Bayley's going to win this match. A lot of people were like, she needs to finally get her WrestleMania moment or whatever. It's like, did people forget she had her? I mean, she did win the SmackDown title at what WrestleMania was that?
36?
No. She won that. It was 33, wasn't it? The WrestleMania, the roller coaster one. She won that.
She won that, did she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not tripping. I don't think.
I swear Charlotte won that match.
No, that was at WrestleMania 32.
Oh, okay.
32. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'll be wrong, and people will be looking at this like, "Damn, you're an idiot." But I'm pretty sure that she won that match. Yes, I'm pretty sure she won that match with an elbow drop. She got her SmackDown Tag Title, but she still will have a moment to actually be the. Before she was still like Hugger Bayley. She wasn't as fleshed out as a character. Mm-hmm. I think now this is finally her moment to cement her career. Now it's an official win. She's at the top and she can enjoy it. I think that Bayley is going to win this match, and it is very well deserved.
Yeah, it definitely is. And honestly, when you look at the build, they put all their stock in the Rhea and Becky match. Yeah. I mean, Bayley won the Royal Rumble, and then you had Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch at that WrestleMania kickoff event back in like February, but you didn't have Bayley and Io, so I don't know, but
yeah, I mean it'll be an okay match. I don't see this definitely being. I think if there was a weaker match on this entire like pay-per-view, I think this is going to be one of the worst ones. But I still see it ending in a feel-good moment with Bayley winning.
I do too. All right, next up we have the United States Championship match. You got Logan Paul taking on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Who you got in this one?
Oh, I was torn between this one. I could see either person or any of these three walking out with the title, but my prediction ultimately is I think Logan Paul is going to retain the United States title.
I've got Logan Paul too, just because, I mean, you've got, you got SummerSlam going to Cleveland, and so that's where he's from, so I think he'll hold the title until Cleveland, so I got Logan Paul winning this one. I mean, I could see it going either way with all three of these men, but I feel like Orton and Owens will kind of like just focus on each other, and Logan Paul will do something to take advantage and get the win.
Yeah, I think so too. We're going to see a lot of RKOs out of nowhere. We'll see. I mean, Owens will get some. He's at Elimination Chamber when he was going crazy, butting his head against the chamber and whatnot. So they have some beef too. And like we've been saying on the podcast, I think that how it ended at the Rumble with that what was it, like
brass knuckles
finish or whatever, they didn't resolve their rivalry. So when it was originally like hinting that Owens wasn't going to get this match, I was like, that doesn't really make sense. So I'm glad that they've at least found a way to stack all these feuds into one, a triple threat. It should be a good match, but ultimately, I think Logan Paul is going to retain this.
Yeah, I do too. And it's a triple threat match, so that means it's a no DQ. So Logan Paul will be able to use those brass knuckles if he wants to.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens will try to, and Randy Orton. So
yeah.
All right. So next up, we've got the co-main event. We've got Seth Rollins defending his world title against Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre. That's who I've got winning this match. I mean, this is the moment he deserves. I mean, he won his first world title in front of nobody. Now he's going to win it in front of like 68,000 people, I think is what the number. So, and I don't see Damian Priest cashing in.
Okay, so we can at least differ with this a little bit. So I have been very torn in what I think the ending to this match is going to be. Drew,
I think the bloodline get involved though.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that with my with this match, Drew, obviously, I really want to see him get this win. He needs to get this WrestleMania moment, but Man, I've been torn with this all week deciding on this. But ultimately, what I think is going to happen is I do think Damian Priest is going to cash in and win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Damn.
I think that with how Seth Rollins, he's been champion for a while. He doesn't, he's done all he can with this title. And he has been a great champion. But he has more to do with bloodline that I think doesn't need the World Heavyweight Championship. So I think that what's going to happen, or at least around what's going to happen, is I think that, so Punk's going to be on commentary. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
I think that there is going to be Judgment Day is going to come out. All the members, like Finn Balor, Finn, Dominic, are going to come out, cause some sort of, stir up or whatnot. Punk said he could get involved slightly on an MMA show. Was MMA Hour?
Yeah.
But he's not cleared. But that doesn't mean, I think that he will try and call them out, stand up to them, and then one of them will just will hit him in the head, knock him out or whatnot. And there will be some sort of tussle going on at ringside. I don't know if I would predict it would end in... My gut tells me this is not going to end in a solid ending with Drew McIntyre winning and holding up the title. I think that it can maybe either end in a DQ and he cashes in immediately and wins the title, or maybe Seth retains and then Priest cashes in and wins, or he inserts himself and it becomes a triple threat and he wins. I think ultimately my prediction is going to be that, my final prediction for the books will be that he makes it a triple threat and Damian Priest walks out with the title. I think that, and another thing too that I think a lot of people, when it comes to this, a lot of people don't want to see him as champion, which I understand, but he's not going to win he's not going to win against Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. I really do not see that happening. And we've kind of booked ourselves into a wall booked ourselves in a corner because if a lot of people don't want to see Damian Priest as champion, but at the same time, I'm so sick of seeing failed cash-ins. I'm so sick of it being like, last year, Theory failed to cash in on the United States Championship.
Yeah.
Corbin failed his cash-in. Otis technically didn't cash in successfully.
Cena's failed his cash-in.
Cena failed his cash-in. There was Damian Sandow that failed his cash-in. So Braun Strowman failed his cash-in. So the Money in the Bank went from having he cashed in on Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell. And it ended with Lesnar doing the beating everybody up, and it just didn't end.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think that the value of the Money in the Bank has just been completely trashed, it feels like. And I don't want to see another failed cash-in. Even if it means like a month-long or 2-month-long reign, we've had so many long reigns that I think it's fine for us to have another month or 2-month-long reign. Just have Damian Priest have that moment, finally have the championship, and it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be the Undisputed Championship. So I think this is a good moment to have a shock factor moment at WrestleMania. Damian Priest comes out, he interrupts, he cashes in, the fans are pissed. They wanted Drew McIntyre to have his moment. Mm-hmm. And then that can lead to a triple threat or a singles match at Backlash. So then Damian Priest goes in as a heel champion. You have TV for the next few weeks.
I think so. They just announced that Clash of the Castle is in Scotland this year, and that's where Drew McIntyre's from. So maybe Damian Priest does cash in, and maybe Damian Priest holds the title until then, and they have Drew McIntyre beat him in Scotland to win the title.
Yeah,
I think I could see that, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna stick with my prediction with Drew McIntyre.
I think maybe he won't even tease a cash in. I don't want to see him, and if he does not cash in, I don't want to see him come out and do another, is he gonna cash in? Distraction, this person wins, and then they just whatever the potential cash in. I think they need to, if he does come out, they need to make it an official cash in and move on from there. He still has some time. I guess he has 2 more months or something, but the time for him to cash in is closing in. He needs to do something, whether it's a fail, a win, whatever. And I think this is a solid moment for it to happen.
Yeah, I do too. All right, that leaves us with one more match on the card. It's the main event of night 2. Roman Reigns defending his undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship against Cody Rhodes once again. And I'm just going to say, we all know a lot changes in a year.
Yes.
This time last year I wasn't even married, and we weren't even doing this YouTube channel a year ago. No. And I was rooting for Roman Reigns in this match a year ago. And here I am a year later, a married man with a YouTube channel, and I'm rooting for Cody Rhodes to finally finish the story.
Yeah, so last year we were heavily behind Roman Reigns.
Yeah, we were.
I think that last year didn't have as much of a build-up, and it's always fun. It's weird with wrestling. It's like almost like you get this unique experience because it's a blend of so in movies you can't really root for the bad guy per se, because in most movies the good guy, it's always good ends up prevailing or whatnot.
Yeah.
But then it also has that element of sports where it's anything could happen, anybody could win. But in sports, there's not really a good and bad guy per se. So wrestling has that unique thing where you could be like, ooh, I really want the bad guy to win this upset finish. And at WrestleMania last year, we were all like, ooh, come on, Roman, you can retain this. And it actually happened. A lot of people have bad memories of that Mania, but we were so excited when that happened. It was just so, I don't know, just something about it. I felt like it was such a crazy moment. It got everybody talking, and it was, everybody wants to disregard that match because it was the finish, but it was a fantastic match.
It was, yeah. A lot of people hate it just for the last 3 seconds of the match. But
yes.
I really enjoyed that match. It was a really amazing match, in my opinion.
I think that this year's is going to be just as good, if not better of a match.
I think it'll be better.
But yes, my prediction is going to be, I think Cody Rhodes finally does get it. Now, I am Cody Rhodes, I've been a little torn on. I think that he has improved the ways they can improve his booking. I think that he has not looked, he just looks kind of like a pushover a lot of weeks. He just hasn't gotten his comeuppance as much. But one could argue that's a part of the storyline, the odds are continuously stacked against him. He continues getting beat up, and then it ultimately ends with him prevailing. But keyword, it ultimately ends up with him prevailing. Not he loses again, So
I just don't see him losing 2 years in a row. And they've been building this story ever since he returned in 2022. So I don't see him losing twice in a row. And if he does, then
where are they going to go from here? They've last year we still had a little bit. Last year he was at almost the 1,000-day mark, so they had that argument that he could hold it just to continue it until the 1,000 days. And at that time, they hadn't done the Usos. They hadn't fleshed more out into the Jimmy versus Roman, Jimmy versus Jay, whatnot. Roman hadn't been pinned. So they had more story to tell. But they don't really have as much story to tell at this point. They basically told the story. So it's now time for Cody to finish
obviously
the story.
You have that story with Brock and Roman, but that doesn't need the title.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I've been saying that. I'm glad that it's not Rock and Roman at this WrestleMania, because I don't think it was needed to be for the title.
Yeah.
And plus, they would be then you would know that Roman would win, because Rock, he doesn't need to win the title, and he's going to go back to filming movies after WrestleMania. So I'm glad that this match actually ended up happening. And yes, I think this is ultimately going to end with Cody Rhodes finally winning. And this opens up such a new possibility for so many good matches.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I've seen so many people on social media okay, Cody wins the title, then what's next? Have people just forgotten what it means to win a title? You got new rivalries.
Yeah.
I guess Roman's just held the title for so long that they kind of just
people
forgot.
Forget what else there is. Yeah, there could be Sammy could end up having.
You got Cody versus Sammy, Cody versus Punk.
Obviously the obvious one though is Cody versus Orton.
Yeah,
that would be a fantastic match. There's some story behind that, and I think that's the best decision. This match though is very obviously going to be very overbooked.
I just hope that they just go buck wild with it. I mean,
if there's a match for them to overbook, just throw everything at the wall.
Yeah.
It's a match where you have a rivalry that's 3.5 years or 4 years? About 3.5 years in the making. And he has so much history in this that I think they could culminate, put everything into once, and put it in one nice little big bow. Then sending it off. Cody Rhodes finally winning.
All these saying people. That as you're wearing a Roman Reigns shirt.
Yes, needle mover. Yes, but I would be cool with either winning. I wouldn't be upset if Roman Reigns won. But I think
don't know, dude.
Logically, with the booking, it only makes sense for Cody to win.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I love my tribal chief. I acknowledge him.
I do too.
I would be cool with seeing him win. But it makes sense, and also makes for a great ending. With you had WrestleMania 20 with Redacted, winning the world title.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Guerrero winning, and they were hugging, celebrating together. Then you had WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan winning, celebrating. So it makes sense for WrestleMania 40 to culminate with Cody Rhodes. It makes sense. It feels right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that, and also I think for the ending, what I'm predicting, I've seen a lot of people obviously with them teasing John Cena, Stone Cold coming out.
Yeah.
What I think is going to happen, Bloodline comes out. I think they're going to tease again the Solo. He's going to hit the spike, the spear.
And I think Cena's music is going to hit.
No. I think that they're going to Solo. They're going to come out, run amok for the first few, going into the match. They're going to do the spike angle, the spear up the ropes. Cody is going to kick out, and then they're going to continue it. The Rock, they're going to be, it's looking like they're all outnumbered. I think Rollins is going to come out, and then they attack each other. They're fighting or whatnot. Bloodline still outnumbers them, though. I think Jay's going to come out as well, too. And Bloodline is still Solo, Rock, all them are still going to be getting the upper hand. And then that's when John Cena comes out. And he stands up, gets his comeuppance with Solo from their match.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Solo finally can, basically him and John Cena can have that interaction. I don't think they've interacted since then.
I've heard that he really can get physical in this type of, like, this weekend, because I think he's going to film Peacemaker, like, right after, so I don't know how they're going to...
I think at WrestleMania, they'll make some sort of exception. I don't think he's going to have some sort of major physical interaction, but yeah. I think... So John Cena's going to come out. He's going to attack Solo, whatnot. They're going to stand up to each other.
And I think The Rock will get the upper hand on him.
Yes, Rock and Cena are going to have it. Then Bloodline looks like they're doing it. And then that's when Stone Cold comes out.
Oh.
He hits everybody with a stunner.
Dude. I'm going to lose my mind.
Yes, we're going to go crazy.
Gosh.
And then that's when I think everybody's going to... They're going to attack all the Bloodline. And that leaves Reigns is going to be like, he's... distracted by it. Cody Rhodes maybe hits him with the Cody Cutter?
Cody Cutter.
And then he finally hits those triple crossroads to get the title.
I feel like he'll hit the first two, and I think he'll get ready for the third one. I think he'll look around a little bit, make sure Solo isn't lurking anywhere again, and then hit that third one, and then 1, 2, 3.
Everybody
and your
standing tall.
new
Yep.
undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Cody Rhodes.
Yes,
that's my prediction.
This would be a great finish.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said, we will be we'll be recording a live reaction for night 1 and night 2's main event. So you guys will get to see how we react to this. If it's some crazy finish like last year that we don't expect, Roman Reigns continues or whatever, you'll get to see our reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get to that feel-good moment with Cody Rhodes retaining, you also get to see that. So yeah, I am very excited for this WrestleMania.
I am too. Let us know in the comments down below what your predictions are, and make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet. Come join the greatest city in the world, Wrasslin City. It's finally here, WrestleMania tonight, tomorrow night. We're going to get some food. I am starving, and we'll see you guys for WrestleMania. Till next time, peace.